shit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC UPenn's finest, and Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. Oh my God. We got another great episode for you guys today. The Super Bowl is on the horizon, so we're of course going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk a lot of NBA, All-Star Weekend coming up, trade deadline, obviously sneaking up on us. So yeah, that's what we'll be going over today. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you're listening to this on audio platform, please leave a like, 5-star rating, download if you like the episode. So yeah, and you know, YouTube on the road to 250. We're almost there. But without further ado, we always got to get started with Summit's Plummets. We're actually going to start with Chris because Chris wanted to say something and I accidentally hit record. So, yeah, Chris can get us started this week.
I was having a yap attack and it just took over. But I was yapping about what I can use as my summit. I had a game yesterday and we won by 34 points, 104 to 70. We scored 100 and we only had 6 players. That's my summit because first of all, it was fun. Second, we knew the people we were playing because like we play with them, play against them on Sundays all the time. So like it was cool to play them. But yeah, we won by 30, so that was cool. My plummet.
What y'all think? Y'all thought it was the Thunder versus the
Grizzlies? Oh, Trouble. Yes. And you know who I was playing like? Oh, good old Kenrich Williams. JK, I was playing pretty good, actually.
Kenrich Williams.
Dallas native, I found out. That's really random, but I found it out. And my plummet is that there's a Super Bowl game on Sunday, and my team isn't playing. Plus, Darvin Ham is still the coach of the Lakers. So, double sadness. There we go.
Are you sure you want to fire Darvin Ham? Yes, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure. The 2K option. Yes, I'm sure. Danny, what's been going on, man? Thinking about Rattler in that black and yellow, man.
No, I'm not thinking about Rattler. I think they're going to go. I wish I was thinking about a quarterback, man. Unfortunately, the Steelers will not be making a move for a quarterback unless they go into the top 10.
Round three. Trust.
They could be making a move to get Jaden Daniels in the top 5.
Okay. Now we're talking.
There's a couple teams that like don't really need to be picking in the top 5 that could move back, and the Steelers sitting at 20, give a first or 2 player, call it a day.
Maybe. But we're here for the Summit's Plummets. Draft's not for a couple weeks.
Yeah, think about it. We're 2 months away from the draft. Pretty crazy thing about it. But
we got to get on them recruit in
this summer of the week. Let's say Miami. I was just in Miami for the week, but yeah, it was a great weekend. Had a good time. Got faded up.
Did you know Travis Kelce invented that?
What, the fade?
Travis Kelce invented the fade, according to white people journalism.
On the 1st of February, which is unreal. They threw him in a different blender. That was terrifying.
Ooh, I want to shift gears real quick. Just real quick. We're going to stay with someone's post. Who has the best BHM shoe?
Kevin Durant, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but Kevin Durant. By far.
Unfortunately?
Yeah,
I think
unfortunately.
Kobe 9 Elites BHM. Not only my favorite Kobe, but best BHM.
Those are some nice ones. Those are nice.
Bro, them Kobe 9 Elites, you couldn't tell nobody. Everybody had a pair. Well, I didn't, but Danny had a pair. Our guy Darren had a pair. If you ain't have a pair, bro, you was missing out. And that's what
I had the black and
Darren
red.
Let me wear his other pair though. Darren had 2 pairs and he let me wear one. So he has
our guy.
Me. I was fighting it.
Our guy, Dan, shout out to him. He had the Derrick Rose Adidas, best basketball sneaker ever invented.
I thought he had the Hardens. I thought they was Hardens.
I think they were Derrick Rose Adidas, dude.
I know they were. So they had like memory foam in them, bro. They were super
felt like a cloud.
Comfy. They were so comfy running up and down the floor.
Chris, I remember we were at basketball practice. We argued who got to wear his shoes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Nah, basketball practice used to be hilarious, especially when you the 8th graders, bro. Nah, that used to do it, man. But Danny, I'm sorry. You still have a plummet, right? Because the summit was Miami. You out here in Miami?
Yeah, the plummet is that the NFL is getting a little weird. I don't like that the media day it has both teams sitting next to each other like they're best friends. Like you're going out there for blood in 4 or 5 days. You're gonna hit each other to the ground. You're supposed to go take selfies next to each other to say, "Oh yeah, we're best friends." Dude, they were talking like if the Eagles were and the Niners were doing media day together. You're telling me they're not doing this? They're doing the same thing? Fuck no.
No, no, and know what I'll say? I'm not like I agree to you. I agree with you to some extent. Um, I'm not like guys can't be friends, but like staging it up to be friends is also a little weird. Um, but like that is an actual problem with the NFL, not Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. But no, I agree to an extent though. Like, could you imagine like who are some teams that like maybe have some deep rooted rivalry, but
Steelers,
like
Cowboys.
yeah, Steelers Cowboys, they have a deep rivalry, Super Bowl history. They just going to be chill. Like if those two ever meet up in the Super Bowl again, it's just going to be chill. Like no,
No,
it's just
never.
like in a weird situation where like a relocation happens and like the Colts are in the NFC again and they play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It's just supposed to be cool. No, but I get what you're saying though, dude. If it was Eagles Niners, like if they could make this type of stage, I think they would put like George Kittle and like Jordan Mailata in a wrestling match, and Mailata would destroy him. But
You know
yeah, but
what? When the Niners lose the Super Bowl, the next day they should announce the Niners to Brazil with the Eagles.
to Brazil, nah, I think they're gonna be playing the Packers. Every sign points towards the Packers because you can't send a divisional game over out the country. Um, I don't know who our other matchups would be.
Steelers on the road. They got Steelers at home, so they
Steelers
could
will
be
be a
playing the
good one.
Steelers.
Steelers would be a good one, but the Steelers probably wouldn't generate like they would generate hype. It's a PA battle, but y'all are buns, unfortunately. Well, your quarterback's bun. I'm not gonna say the team's bun. Quarterback's buns. It kind of like takes down some of the hype. Browns have a predator QB. You don't want that guy representing, your country.
Wow.
So I think Packers would be a really, really, really nice one.
I
But
agree.
to my summits and plummets, I could make up a plummet here and say that Joe Mazzulla is my coach, but I guess that's fake pessimism according to 99% of NBA fans. But dude's just, I don't know. Dude's not a good head coach for like good 80% of the game. He's just not a good head coach. Here's what I'll say. Plummet, Joel Embiid is probably wraps. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's probably wraps for him this season. That sucks. He was probably having one of the best seasons by a big man since I don't know when. Like offensively, like this dude was getting whatever he wanted. And it's just unfortunate because while I'm not a Sixers fan, I'm a basketball fan. I resonate with my hometown team at least a little bit because you know, like before we had Hulu or whatever, that was the only thing on TV. So, I watched a lot of Sixers. Of course, I try to watch almost every Sixers game I can, and which it's a good matchup. So to not see him out there, it's going to be tough. My summit, though, however, is that Luka and Kyrie are back healthy, and I didn't do the research on this. I just want to know what would this team's record be with. I want to know what their record is together when they're both healthy, full game. Like anybody else can be hurt. Like you know, Hardy can be hurt, Josh Green can be hurt, Tim Hardaway can be out. But if you have these two on a court, you're not getting a lot of stops, but you can go down every single possession and score. Whether they're generating or getting it themselves. I truly believe that. So I don't know. It's just good to see two of my favorite players healthy, and I guess double plummet. It's just sad that like every time Luka has a good game or something happens, or last game I think he had 19, 6 and 3 or something like that, and shot like 40% from the field. Whatever, like, and they won. They won, and the first thing Celtics fans were like, if this was Tatum, y'all would be this, and that, and it's like, dog. If y'all are gonna put Tatum in every single situation of a player, every other fan is going to bring up Tatum when their player is doing good. Like it's double-sided pencil. Like if you write Tatum's name into situations, people are going to write Tatum's name in their player situation. Like someone said, like, are y'all ready for this combo? And it was Donovan Mitchell stats and Jason Tatum stats. Like, first of all, we're not dumb enough to fall for that. Like, please be serious. We're not dumb enough to fall for that. Donovan Mitchell having a phenomenal year. You want to throw him higher on the MVP ladder than Tatum because what's been going on lately? Be my guest. He's not a better basketball player than Jason Tatum. Like, please just don't be so sensitive. The Celtics fans, they also so this leads it up perfectly to our NBA Weekly segment. Scotty Barnes and Trae Young were announced as the replacements, rightfully so, because they should have never missed the game in the first place. And Celtics fans were saying Derek White snub. They were really fighting the Kristaps snub with Scotty Barnes. Not only Scotty Barnes, he averages only one more point on like a dip in efficiency. Scotty Barnes also has so much more to do for his team. And a lot of people bringing up the record. I've never liked your team record should grant you more All-Stars. That's just
It matters for
man.
MVP, not All-Stars.
Yes, like MVP, unless with the exception of I think Luka Doncic right now. And
Russell Westbrook when he was
I was gonna say,
right?
hey, I was getting there, man. And Russell Westbrook, who I still have no idea how that team was even a 6 seed. But anyway, with the exception of them, yes, your team has to be good. It has to be competitive and win MVP. But like All-Star, like why do we have to win? Why do we have to be successful for All-Star? And don't say it's empty stats. Like it. There's a difference between empty stats and like a good player. Remember for how many years people were saying Devin Booker was putting up empty stats? How about you look really fucking stupid right now? Because this man has never been better. He's been awesome. He's 5th in the league in scoring. Like it's just no difference from day one. I don't know. Scotty Barnes 100% deserved it in my opinion. But I guess main topic is of this is Embiid and the Sixers. Danny, Embiid will be reevaluated in
4 weeks.
4 weeks. So that's what, March 6th? Let's see.
I'll be on spring break in LA.
Okay. So what? Okay. So they have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with tomorrow night's game. So the Sixers have, what did I just say, 13, 14? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The Sixers have 13 games until Embiid even gets reevaluated. You gotta
go 500. You gotta go 500.
You gotta go 500. They have.
Is it possible?
Is it possible? They host the Warriors, then they host Atlanta. Take a quick road trip to face the Wizards. Then you'll face the Cavs.
Red hot Cavs. The red hot Cavs.
Okay, now here comes a plus but minus. You have a 4-game homestand. You got Heat, Knicks, Cavs, Bucks. And then right after that, you take a trip up. You take a trip up to Boston. And then you come back home for the Hornets. You go down to Dallas. You go up to Brooklyn. And you finish it off with a home game against the Grizzlies. And that's assuming that he's back after 4 weeks. But he's just getting looked at after them 4 weeks. I think the Sixers are cooked, man. I don't know what you think. Like, I don't know how you feel. But talking about that stretch of games, they're already 4-11 without him. Their points per game total dropped by 9 when he isn't playing. I'm sure that'll get higher as they get adjusted to playing with each other. But I don't know. I'm not really high on this Sixers team. And truth be told, I think they could actually miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I think worst case they actually get a play-in spot. I think they need to win like 8 more games throughout the regular season to get a play-in spot. I think they could get that done.
Yeah, because the teams outside of the play-in, like 11 and on, are pretty bad. So
yeah, so I think worst case they'll get a play-in spot, and Embiid should body a play-in spot if he's back. But this brings my point. I think Joel Embiid is the NBA embodiment of TJ Watt. the team without him is nothing. He's an
Okay.
MVP caliber player every single year. He won it his 1 year. TJ got his depoy last year. And you just see that the team's kind of built around Embiid. Without Embiid, the team is nothing. And when you lose Embiid, they're horrible. Same thing happened with the Steelers. When they had TJ Watt last year, they were 9-2. Without it, they were horrible. I believe they were like 2-7. Brings us to the point. The Sixers aren't great without Embiid in the past. With Nick Nurse, he can kind of raise their floor a little bit. He can bring them to average ball. Maxey, like you saw, he got 51. He new career high. You can see Kelly Oubre and Tobias Harris elevate their game. But when you're playing teams that have stars, like the Mavericks, like the Warriors tomorrow night, they can't beat them because they're just going to find that inefficiency with Paul Reed on the low post or Mo Bamba on the low post. And any team with a center, they're cooked. Because Maxey, he's a good defender. He's a better defender with Embiid behind him. The team's just better when you see Embiid in the paint. And because the teams fear to go in the paint. It's kind of like, oh, Gobert has X amount of blocks this year. But some people just don't go into the paint because they know that shit's getting swatted.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. And I think what that mentions, I want to bring this to Chris. With the idea that if he's not going to be here, I think it's worth talking about trading for just a body in the paint. They don't have to be a spectacular defender. What do you think about the idea of them talking to Chicago and getting Andre Drummond back?
I have a better idea. Have a better idea. I've been saying this for 3 weeks before Embiid went down. The Sixers need to make one call. It's to the Bulls. You get Drummond and you get DeRozan, and there's a reason why. You move those contracts you got. No, you move those contracts that you have. You move the Covington deal. You move the Batum deal. That's good for Chicago because, I mean, DeRozan and Drummond are expiring contracts. Those are expiring contracts they can buy out even faster if they want to. Attach a pick or two, and maybe you might have to give up a Jaden Springer, a younger guy in the deal. This is just, how it works in the NBA. At the end of the day, you get DeRozan and Drummond, you don't have to worry about the play, and you'll be in those top 6 seeds. You'll be able to maintain. Because at the end of the day, you just need to give him time to come back, but come back healthy. Like, you don't want to just, okay, it's been 4 weeks, time to run him out there. No, you don't want to do that. Because if the MVP's cooked, there's no point. So at that point, you get Drummond and DeRozan, and you go from there. And then you can work out a 2-year extension with DeRozan in the offseason if you want to. You have options. And I think that's the smart thing they did by not jumping on a Zach LaVine deal or jumping on one of those deals really early. Now you have the insurance for when your big guy goes down, you can have an option. Like, even Drummond and Caruso, like, even that works. But just go to Chicago and get two of those players that they're looking to move. And I think you stay packed. And you can stay in contention. Like, the Cavs are red hot, but at some point, you're going to reintegrating Garland and Mobley is going to change the trajectory of that team. Not saying it's going to be worse, but they're going to have to refigure out how to play again. They were out for a little while. You can hope for a skid. You can hope for Miami to skid again. You can hope for some teams just to not be good, so you can stay well. But I think making a move to Chicago, getting Drummond, Caruso, DeRozan, any two of those three, I think it keeps you right where you need to be. In a spot where when Embiid gets back, you're even better. Your team's been playing better without him as a group. Like, you just got role players better, so forth. And boom, now you're in the playoffs with a healthy Embiid. You didn't have to rush him back. And now you're cooking with gas.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. There was a report saying that the Sixers do not have interest in DeRozan. DeRozan is just a really weird trade piece. Contract ain't too not. I mean, like, for the bucket getter he is. Yeah. For the defense that he provides, and like defense, look, if your defense is so bad that it gets to the point where it's like, do you really want him on your team? Then, like, it's that bad. But I think the Bulls should make that. I know that they're talking about running it back, wait till Lonzo comes back, get people on Lonzo's timeline. If Lonzo's that important, just bring people in on his timeline. Like, DeRozan's older. Maybe keep LaVine around if you want. Like, if it seems to be not building around Lonzo, but like, if Lonzo's that important to you, then just like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be that way. They make it super difficult. I would definitely like the idea of Drummond and DeRozan. For Philadelphia, Drummond, not like a great rim protector or defender, but he's a body, and Philly fans love him. And I think he provides at least a little extra sum that Paul Reed, Paul Reed cannot be your like defensive anchor. So I think he
Wait.
provides a little extra depth. No, man.
s-
Basketball Paul cannot be your defensive anchor.
I see a rumor the Pistons are looking at adding Tobias Harris. I don't get that.
I don't know what they would give
They're
you.
not a real team. No, you know what? You know what though? You know what?
Bogdanovich.
And Wiseman. You need a big body for 1 year. I mean, for half a season. He's on an expiring deal. He's on an expiring deal. No. He's not that bad. He's not that bad to where he can't plug in and give you minutes.
Yeah, but he might have to plug in and play some playoff minutes.
Hear me out. Ready? Give me Jalen Duren.
Jalen Duren. Dang,
that's not happening for Tobias Harris. They probably
Tobias Harris.
Yeah, that's like I'm the GM of the Celtics. I'm the GM of the Celtics. I'm calling up, let's say, Magic. I'm like, yo, I'm interested in one of your young players. I got Luke Cornett, I got Peyton Pritchard, and 2 firsts. And they're like, all right, that sounds good. What you want? Like Anthony Black? What you want? Jalen Suggs? Yeah, what's up with that Franz fella? Like, nah. That would be funny though if you send Tobias back to Detroit, for sure. But in other news, I think we kind of all agree Sixers are kind of like all around cooked. But my thing is, I don't want to bring, like, let's say Embiid does come back like a couple games before the playoffs. Like, do we want to make his first games back playoff basketball, or would we really just shut it down? You got a lot of cap space this summer. You can, just rest. We'd rather you sit this April out so you're healthy enough to play next April. And I know it's a recurring cycle of sit this game out so you're healthy later and he still ends up being hurt. But I truly believe I would rather him not have his first game back being playoff basketball. Sit it out. We're going to have you, Maxey, and another max player or several key role guys next year. And we're going to be stronger than we've ever been in your era. And this is why you trust the process. But it's going to be tough, especially when the Celtics trade for Alex Caruso. And they got Holiday, White, Caruso, Tatum, Brown, small ball lineup that don't feel like a small ball lineup because Tatum's one of the best rim protecting wings in the league. You got 3 of the best perimeter defenders out there. You got Jaylen Brown, who's finally bought back in on defense, which I absolutely love. And all it's going to take is paying Pritchard in a first. Can't believe it. I will ask you, if y'all are the Celtics, I'm pretty sure the Celtics really have all their first-round picks. How many first-round picks as the Celtics do you think it would take to get Alex Caruso? Think 2, 3? Because the Bulls could be like, well, y'all picks aren't going to be good. But like the Celtics, because the Celtics can overspend on picks because they're never going to be bad because Jason Tatum's 25 years old and Jaylen Brown's 27 years old.
But this is the thing, too, though. Even with the Bulls saying that, no team trading for Caruso is a lottery team. They don't want Caruso. So they're not going to get much better than a Celtics pick. So if they say that, they're just going to be holding on to him for no reason. Because Celtics pick, who else was asking about him? Lakers, Heat, whatever teams, they're all in the playoffs. So you're going to be in the 20s.
Let's swing over to the Lakers real quick. So the Lakers, their prominent trade pieces have been D'Lo, Rui,
LeBron.
Gabe Vincent isn't prominent, but he's been in every trade deal to help with the money. I don't know how much of Austin Reeves is not untouchable, but like I think for the right price, maybe. Max Christie, probably for the right price, even though I told Chris this. I don't get it with him. But so their big name has been DeJounte Murray. Chris, at this point, would you rather keep D'Lo and have the highs and lows? Or would you rather, package something up, get a bona fide third star? Because it seems that like the third star thing has not really worked in LeBron's time there. But now we're seeing that LeBron and AD and a bunch of role players isn't working right now because those role players aren't Alex Caruso and KCP and Kuzma, guys who are gonna sit in their chair and play some defense. I just want to hear your thoughts. What the hell should the Lakers do at the trade deadline aside from sending LeBron to New York?
Yeah, or Boston. Anyway, I was saying
Could
that
you imagine?
I think in real life though, the whole problem with the Lakers right now is people are saying they need a third star. D'Angelo Russell is a third star. Point blank period. He is. Everybody's told him he's a role player. Darvin Ham has made him into a role player. D'Angelo Russell is a third star. Like if you remember the championship team, you had LeBron, AD, had a bunch of role players. Yes. People can laugh, and people will probably laugh when I say this. Kyle Kuzma thought he was a third star, and he played in that way, in that fashion. The shots he took, the way he played as a third star. So you still need a third star, but you need a mid-tier guy. DeJounte Murray is not that. DeJounte Murray is a guy who thinks he's a 1B or a 2 on the championship team. He is. He thinks that. Not saying he is, but that's what he thinks. He's going to come to the Lakers and try to prove that, and it's going to be worse than what you're getting now. He's a better on-ball defender than D'Angelo Russell, but outside of that, DeJounte Murray doesn't do much more better than D'Lo. He just doesn't. He doesn't stand still, shoot better. He does not catch and shoot better. He doesn't play make better. He does not play in the mid-range better. He does not do anything exceptionally better that would make me want to send D'Lo, attach an asset, and go get him. There's not one part of me that does that. The only way I'm making a move on the Lakers, I'm moving one of those fours that don't play enough because you can't, because you have to play LeBron 30-plus minutes. You move Rui or you move Vando or you move one. You can't move Vando now, he's on his foot surgery, but you know what I'm saying? Like you move one of those guys. You move Rui to get a backup big and a backup point guard, like a guard, like a Caruso Drummond. Not saying you can get that, but you want to get a type like that if you're going to move anything. I think you keep D'Lo. I think you keep Reeves. You play them as if they're third stars because they all play in that lane. And then you have LeBron and AD. You play like that. I don't think you go out and make a move because it doesn't make sense. The guys that are available now, like, yeah, if Donovan Mitchell was available, you have the assets, then yeah, you package up everything you can to go get him. But he's not. If DeJounte Murray is the best piece you can get, and I'm a big DeJounte Murray fan, it's not worth breaking up your team and giving them assets to do it if you're the Lakers. It's not. Because it's not going to push you over the needle more than D'Angelo Russell playing better. Just one.
Yeah. I think last trade deadline might have spoiled us a little bit. We saw names like Kyrie Irving. We saw Kevin Durant, one of like the 14, 15 best players to ever pick up a basketball, get traded mid-year. That just doesn't happen. And this trade deadline is more realistic. Like the best guy on the market is DeJounte Murray, fringe all-star. You guys, it was Zach LaVine, but he got hurt. I don't think you can trade hurt guys, if I'm not mistaken. You like Alex Caruso is a huge name on the trade market, and that's no disrespect to him. Like one of the best role players in the NBA, but not an all-star. But this is how most trade deadlines usually look. I completely agree. Here's the thing with D'Angelo Russell. Here's how he's been playing past couple weeks. We got 28 points against the Hornets, 16 points against the Knicks, 16 points against the Boston Celtics. He did shoot 5 for 20 in that game. He also had 14 assists. He was absolutely dealing. Bad game against the Hawks. 23 points against the Rockets. 28 against Golden State, 29 against the Bulls, 27 against the Clippers. He actually had 27, 10, and 5. Really good game right there. He actually hit 8 threes against the Bulls. 34 against the Blazers with 6 made threes. 20 points against Brooklyn. Nothing crazy. 29 points against the Mavericks. He had a so-and-so game against the Thunder. Then he had 39 against the Jazz. He is completely liable to... He's not going to shoot like that every night because his touches are going to be inconsistent every night. But I believe that he could be the main scoring option outside of LeBron and Anthony Davis on a championship.
And main playmaker option, both outside of
LeBron. And benching D'Lo, like having him come off the bench is not like the greatest idea. But running him in a lot of non-LeBron minutes would really, really help the Lakers. Because with D'Lo out there, yeah, he can catch and shoot, but I feel like he's best when he's bringing the ball up. Gets in his rhythm. That's what he was doing good in Brooklyn. That's what he did good in his time in LA. Is just being the main facilitator leads him to also being able to score with anybody. There will be a team Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Benedict Mathurin in the NBA Skills Challenge. So there's that. But yeah. So Alex Caruso is going to the Celtics for show. We need
Unfortunately, Alex Caruso is a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. It'll be Caruso and Drummond to the Thunder for Kenrich Williams and 2 first-round picks. Remember, I
think when they need size, I think Drummond is what it, because it's not size as in like Chet is a bad defender. Chet's like legit.
You don't want
one
him
of the best
guarding
defenders
and
in the
beating
NBA.
Jokic for 45 minutes.
Exactly. Not even like he can probably block their shots and stuff, but like it's a bruising playoffs. Get somebody who can rotate with him. Get somebody who can make Chet play some 4.
6 more fouls. That's what you need. 6 more fouls.
Exactly. And like Jalen Williams, like, yeah, he's another like guy who can bruise, but like let's be real, Jalen Williams probably isn't getting much playoff time. And not saying like Drummond is. I mean, he can't really space the floor, but like put the right guys around him, then maybe. But
moving on to the NFL. One thing
we
can talk about the Super Bowl. There's a rumor out right now that the Bears package for Justin Fields is going to look something similar to the Carson Wentz deal, where they get conditional first-round pick based on playing time.
That's fair. Fields has missed his fair share of time. I think that's good.
I think it would be a second-round pick, and if he plays 80% of snaps, bam, whatever.
I think it would be a second and a third, and that third is conditional to become a second because Carson Wentz, oh my God, after the season he had, the fact that Eagles even got a first-round pick out of that, man.
It's absurd. Insane.
Masterclass. The dude had a 1-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio. So
it's crazy because Carson didn't throw interceptions. He has fumbled the ball.
He legit had either had a pick and a fumble, 2 picks, or 2 fumbles every single game. 2 turnovers every single game. These interceptions.
He fumbled the ball so horrible. Bad though.
Dude, he was throwing. No, I think he actually had 16 picks, and he also had a million fumbles as well. So it was bad. That was a rough year. Seeing Jalen
the Red Rocket was going down.
Okay, man. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. It's Niners, Chiefs.
2 red teams. Yep.
Okay, both have a shade of yellow. Let's go with that. So we can talk. Let's start with the 49ers. The way I want to kind of break this down is I think we're all taking the Chiefs, and that's kind of boring. So I guess we could talk about keys to victory for each team, starting with the Niners. Danny, what is the groundwork for the Niners beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl? And I didn't want to use the word upset. DraftKings has them as the favorites.
It's going to sound crazy. We saw the Eagles lay down the groundwork to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. It's do not let Patrick Mahomes have the ball. Keep the ball out of his hand. Run the ball. Possess the ball. Give him 20 minutes of time, just like the Eagles did last year. Except the Eagles let their special teams get involved, and Kadarius Toney came down the field. Mahomes only had the ball for about 22 minutes, I believe, last year in the Super Bowl, which is insane. They put up 38 points in 22 minutes.
We'll say 31 because of the scoop and score, but God damn it, Jonathan Gannon. I like that one. I like that key.
So, number 1, keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, because if you give him 30 minutes possession,
Lord knows what he's putting up.
Or here's the thing. Lord knows you're not putting up points, because you're just going to – if it's 30, he's probably putting up 40 minutes possession. And the Niners offense is not built to sustain these big play drives. It's more dink and dunk. Let me tire your defense out. And I think what they have to do is convert big third downs. What the Chiefs have done in these playoffs is be very efficient in not letting teams pick up third downs. Except for that one Lamar play where there's a couple plays when they were playing the Ravens, Lamar was just magic.
Lamar is the exception. He's the exception.
People were talking about, Lamar Jackson had a bad game. He was magic for some plays in that game. If you watch the game back,
his highs were highs and his lows were low.
I agree. You have to realize the Chiefs defense is playing 2010 to 2015 Patriot level defense. That those Patriot defenses were just there. And that's how the Chiefs defense is right now. Spags is doing his thing, and you gotta realize that the Niners have to outcoach Spags. And if it's a guy to do it, it's Shanahan. It's
Okay.
letting the skills do it.
So
Because here's the thing,
Okay.
though. These screen passes, and the third key to my success for the Niners, these screen passes are not going to cut it. The Chiefs corners play up in your face. They're going to play man-to-man. They're going to jam you at the line. You saw what happened to Tyreek Hill, the best receiver in football. Him or Jettis, whatever you want to decide. Those two are the best two in football.
Jettis.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't care. But you saw what happened to Tyreek Hill. He got pressed to the earth. So what you have to do is let Brock Purdy cook. It's going to sound crazy because I've hated on Brock Purdy for a while. But what I saw in the NFC Championship from Brock Purdy was that he has the ability to extend plays, that he has the ability to be a playmaker. But the problem is he played too much in structure for his first 2 years of his career so far. Let him extend plays. Let him get outside the pocket. Let him take off. He had 50 rushing yards. Let him take off. Let him do his thing, and they have a chance against the Chiefs. If you keep him in the pocket and keep him doing these little dink and dunks, and the Chiefs are eventually going to capitalize on mistake, and it's over. You need to let him be a quarterback. Don't make him operate within the scheme, because last time we saw that happen, Jimmy G lost the game.
I like that. I like that you said that for Purdy. You know, let him do his thing. I do think he has a little bit of creativity gene to him. I absolutely like that. I want to swing it over to Chris. So Danny gave us some pretty good keys to victory. Now, could you give us some key players? Who for the Niners, like 3 or 4 guys, who is going to have to stick out? Who is going to have to win? Who's going to have to will the team to victory? If they want to beat Mahomes, what 3 or 4 guys got to stick out? Oh, you on mute? You on mute? Yeah, check the.
What about now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why they hate
Okay.
on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give us 3 or 4 guys that gotta stick out if the Niners want to win.
All right. Before that, slam dunk contest got announced.
I was gonna hold off on that until
Okay,
we're
go.
done.
Okay, cool.
We'll talk about it though. We'll talk about it.
Okay, so the 4 players I have, Brock Purdy for one. I think he's got to be the most important guy on the field, like Super Bowl MVP level type guy. He's got to be the most important guy because I agree with Danny 100%. They have to let him play. I've talked a lot about Brock Purdy, but and what Tone said too, he's creative enough, and I think he has skill. You got to let that dude show it. Brandon Ayuk as well. I think he is very important on the fact of you know what you expect to get out of Christian McCaffrey. If Debo's 100%, which I feel like he'll be close enough to, you know what you expect to get. I think Ayuk's very important. I think Fred Warner is very important to this game as well, to play. And the way he plays, the way they use him, is he going to be spying Mahomes? Not saying Mahomes is going to run like Lamar, but having eyes on him is going to be very important because he's extending plays. We know what Mahomes does, so very important. Excuse me. And lastly, and this may come as a surprise, Kyle Juszczyk. I think he's going to be very important because I think if you're the 49ers, you have to mix up your play calling because, as you said, the Chiefs play. Danny said the Chiefs play up in your face. They're gonna pressure you and do a lot. So it's gonna take away a lot of your screenplays. So maybe you run a couple. You push a couple fullback dives in there. You push a couple random passes to a fullback. Maybe use Kyle Juszczyk as a second tight end. You know, just move him around to where he's important in the game too. Just give them another person to worry about. I know that's weird to try to make a fullback that important, but I think to beat the Chiefs, you have to be creative and you have to pull stuff out that they haven't seen in a while. And I think that would be like a cool wrench to throw in there. So those would be the 4 guys I picked.
Yeah, I like that you specifically said Brandon Ayuk because that meshes with one of Danny's points. Chiefs, one of the best third down defenses. Brandon Ayuk, the greatest receiver of all time on third down. Like it could be 3rd and 12, it could be 3rd and long. Purdy is going to find this dude, and he always manages to get open on 3rd down. He understands field positioning. He understands where he needs to get get past the sticks, what zones to sit in, how I'm going to attack my man off the release. I think Brandon Ayuk, he's really like a special wide receiver talent, and he's a great football mind at the wide receiver position. I'm glad that you mentioned that. It's a legit perfect, like hand in hand that you two were thinking that. I love all the points made. You guys both talked about how Shannon has to let Purdy, get creative, and I think he's the creativity gene. I like that you mentioned Fred Warner, not necessarily as a spy, because it's not saying like Mahomes isn't like Lamar, but like Mahomes, I watched him gash the Eagles on a huge third down run last year that essentially won them the game later on. And quarterback running will have a little bit to do with my hot take later, but
Well, I think that comes down to the way the Eagles ran their defense last year. They ran this bland, I'm going to rush 4 every time and let my secondary be my secondary. We're not going to bring too much heat.
Last year it worked.
It worked,
man.
It worked when you have elite
no.
defensive linemen. It worked when you have Hargrave and Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick all playing at elite level.
And 1 year younger Fletcher Cox and 1 year younger Brandon Graham, and that 1 year hit fast.
Yeah. So, Tony, this brings me to my question.
Okay.
Where do you see Patrick Mahomes' game being limited on Sunday, if it's going to be limited at any way?
So in the first Super Bowl, that was a time where I think that was probably the first time he's probably seen like that too high safety look. And you saw going into the next season, that's when he started to start getting adjusted to that look.
He's evolved for sure.
He's evolved, man. You cannot give him that too high safety look. If I'm the Niners, I don't know. Like, I guess the best way to put it is just like make them earn it, make them work their way all the way down the field. But it's just something that has just like it's worked for them. They've done methodical drives. They had in the first quarter of the Ravens, they had like all but 2 minutes of the first quarter. It was ridiculous. They're able to keep up these long drives. I don't think necessarily limiting Mahomes should be the question. It's not going to happen. You don't limit LeBron James. You don't limit Steph Curry. You don't limit Michael Jordan. You couldn't limit Tom Brady. So you're not going to limit Patrick Mahomes. Shut down Isaiah Pacheco. Greenlaw and Fred Warner. Greenlaw and Fred Warner have a huge job this week. Make the Chiefs essentially just have to throw the ball all game. Like, give them no reliance on the run game whatsoever.
Did you see the video? Pacheco was like, they're like, Pacheco, any thoughts on the Super Bowl? He just goes, Chiefs.
Yeah, because if I ran like that into defenders, I probably would not have a thought in my brain either. So,
I think Antonio Brown's going around tweeting CTESPN on all these crazy. He's next.
Because he
Pacheco's
just
next.
Nah, but it sounds weird saying like, oh, you have to shut down Isaiah Pacheco, but he's played such a critical role in these playoffs for them. Like he runs hard. He's not averaging the most yards per carry in the world, but like he runs hard and he's gonna make you feel it every single time you try to tackle him. Bumps and bruises are gonna add up, especially when we're in week 21 of the season, 22 of the season. It's just like, I don't know. Funny saying the Chiefs. Make Mahomes beat you, I guess is the word to say it. But I mean, I don't know. There's not really any limiting this dude. It's kind of like what you said. Just keep him off the field. Like, that's the bit. Like, the Eagles, I think, kept them to 20, what'd you say, like 21 or something, like minutes of offense? It wasn't a lot. It's got to be less. It's got to be less than 20. Keep him on the field for 19 minutes, and you got yourself a Vince Lombardi trophy, man. That's like the best way I can put it. The dude is ridiculous. I thought you were going to ask me where does he rank if he wins the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, I would have told you top 2.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm with that. Well,
you think that's crazy? Let's talk about it before we get to the Chiefs' keys to victory. If Mahomes wins Super Bowl wins Super Bowl MVP, where is he all-time quarterbacks? As it stands right now, not where we're projecting him in right now. With combined accolades, stats, I say 2. I agree. I think 2. You think 3? Who ahead of him? Brady, of course.
Joe.
Think Joe Montana? That's fine. I think I'm not the biggest Joe Montana guy, but a lot of people seem to forget he was like the QB GOAT before Brady took over. And I also think a lot of people forget. I think Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen. People acting like Brady was like Jared Goff, who stuck around for a long time. No, Brady was gross sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That dude could make every throw on the field. He's not throwing the ball off his back foot to the other side pylon like Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes. He can sit back there, take hits. He can throw on the run. He can throw over top of safeties. He had a brilliant touch. He's not the all-time passing leader in everything known to man and has 7 Super Bowls
Exactly.
because he's Jared Goff. Let's put some respect on my man's name. If you think Mahomes is the better talent, I agree. But like, we acting like Tom Brady was like, Tony Romo with a good head coach. Like, come on now. I didn't mean to slander Goff like that. He caught a crazy stray, but no. All right, Chris. Where's Mahomes all time if you get the Super Bowl MVP?
I have him. I'd have him. Yeah, probably third, because I was taught Joe Montana growing up. Like my dad was telling me, like Joe Montana was the guy, and from what I seen, he was elite. But it's hard to say that though, because Joe did have Jerry Rice for some time, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yeah, Jerry Rice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But Mahomes also had Kelsey, but then Brady had Gronk. So it's like you have your guys, you have your people. So I can't even put them on. But I would say 3. And then if he gets another Super Bowl, he's only going to be second to Brady for a couple more years, I'd say. But
I would
right now.
Okay, so as it stands right now, I have him at 2. If he has 3 Super Bowl MVPs, I don't need more Super Bowls for you to pass Brady. Like, because I don't see the Super Bowl. Like, I cherish Super Bowl MVPs. That means you were the best player at the biggest stage. Winning them.
Was Mahomes the best player in the Super Bowl, though?
And what? The first one?
Yeah.
He was. Damian Williams bald. Let's be real, though. Mahomes, the what was it? 32 Jet Wasp. That was crazy.
Jet Wasp.
Yeah, dude, that thing was insane. Like pressure in his face, just hummed it downfield. Like he was ridiculous that game. Obviously,
Josh Allen type throw.
Yeah, last year was 100% the MVP.
Agreed.
But yeah, but I would say, but you want to know something about Joe Montana? It kind of throws a huge dent, and I don't want to hear anything about errors because there's a lot of QBs in that errors that threw for more yards. Joe Flacco has more career passing yards than Joe Montana. So there's that. And his best receiver in his time was Anquan Bolden. Shout out Anquan Bolden. He ain't Jerry Rice. So take that to the bank. Who said that? You can take that to the bank. Kobe said it. Kobe said it. He was like, I got one more to Shaq. Man, Kobe. All right. Let's talk about the Chiefs. I'm going to swap the questions.
Yeah.
So, Danny, I want you to tell me who are
I'm looking at the Chiefs injury report real quick. The Chiefs injury report is huge. You got I'm serious. You got 6 players on the Niners that are on the injury report. 2 being Kittle and Trent Williams, who are going to play. And on the Chiefs, you got Chris Jones, Pacheco, Thuney, Sky Moore, L'Jarius Sneed, MVS, Jerick McKinnon, Rashee Rice. You got a lot of guys who, I think most of them are going to play. But McKinnon, Reed gave an update. He said McKinnon probably not going to play, slim chance to play. If he does play, it's a really good piece for their offense because I think their offense is much better when you have him coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, McKinnon very, very dynamic back.
Joe Thuney is huge.
Yeah.
You saw he is an all-pro left guard, probably the best at his position. And if losing him for the Super Bowl, I smells blood in the water the same way that the Buccaneers game happened when the Bucs took advantage of the Chiefs' faulty O-line when the 2 of their tackles went down for the Super Bowl. Except it's different this time. Except you're not losing tackles, you're losing your interior guard.
Yeah, the guard can get helped, but like your tackles being out against that Bucs defense,
both of them.
Both of them, and like I picked Mahomes because I still believed in him. but I didn't bank on all these drops, and I didn't bank on like these backup tackles being that horrible.
Dude, that might have been the
Those
best game he's played in his career. That's gonna sound crazy.
exactly from like an eye test standpoint. Absolutely, people say he played bad in that game. Just say
No.
you went and watched that box score and you had no clue what happened. He had 3 drop touchdowns. He was
He had
he
one of
would
the
like
craziest throws I've ever seen in my life.
exactly
The
like dude.
diving throw.
He was refusing to go down. It was phenomenal work. And
Do you remember
of course, credit to the Bucks offense. They were moving.
he rolled left, spun around, getting thrown down out of bounds, and he threw the dime back left corner
And he got dropped.
Drop.
Yeah.
Was that Byron
Unbelievable.
Pringle? I think it was Byron Pringle.
I think it was Pringle or Hill. I think it was Pringle though.
Yeah, it wasn't Hill. It was definitely
Yeah.
Pringle or like one of those mid-tier receivers. Maybe Hardman.
Dude, we're talking about a 28-year-old Patrick. We're talking about 28-year-old Patrick Mahomes, and we're talking about his second Super Bowl that happened 3 years ago in his second or his third year of starting. Like,
Yo,
his lore is already goated.
tell me how I searched up Pringle drop versus Bucks, and a YouTube video says every drop touchdown pass in Super Bowl 55. The fact
That's
that
ridiculous.
it says every
ridiculous,
drop, they have a compilation of
Now,
the
some of
drops in
those
touchdowns.
might have happened. Like, some of those might have happened on the same drive. So I don't want to be like, oh, well, if all these were caught, then they win, because it doesn't work like that. But
No, it doesn't.
that game, Mahomes made it seem a lot closer than it was. Like, the fact that they got destroyed, it's just like, damn, we're gonna look back on that and be. That's another thing. Oh, quarterback head-to-head matchups. Oh, Brady's better because he beat him in when he was just a playoff virgin, and he beat him when he had no tackles. Yeah,
Eli
oh,
Manning's better though.
Yeah, because Brady was out there sacking Patrick Mahomes. Okay,
Eli's better than Brady though in the playoffs.
Eli Enfoles clears that bum.
You saw Eli's rap battle?
Yeah, nah, he cooked. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Patriots fans dude. Boston sports fans are so sensitive. Like, they were in comments.
It's a joke,
dude. Yeah, like, dude, do you really think Eli Manning thinks he's better than Tom Brady? Like, do you really think that, man?
He has
Like,
his
they're
own
so
show where he
sensitive.
watches football. He knows football lore.
Dude,
he watches
dude, like,
football every Monday.
Eli would probably say he's the 3rd best quarterback in his own family and the 4th best player in his own family. Eli's incredibly.
He'd probably say he's the 3rd best in his class.
Yeah, probably. Well, he might be, but I mean, he's got the jewelry that Philip don't have, and he's
got 14 kids. You want kids or jewelry?
I don't know.
They
and he also don't got Big Ben's extracurricular activities. So,
whoa.
Anyway, let's talk about the Chiefs' end of the game. Danny, I wanted to ask you, like I asked Chris for the Niners, Chiefs, who are 3 or 4 guys that's got to stand out in this game that is not named Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce? Like, who are just 3 other guys? They're gonna have to go win this game for them.
I'm gonna start with position group. It's Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed. They're my first 2 players. We saw what they're capable of against the Dolphins. We see what they're capable of against the Eagles last year in the playoffs. They're an elite cornerback duo. These 2 guys have what it takes to shut down Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. They have what it takes to shut down anybody in the NFL. Justin Jefferson, I don't care. They can take on anybody and go shut them down. And that's what really makes these Chiefs dynamic this year. The next guy is also a defensive player. It's Nick Bolton. Having Nick Bolton be able to go one-on-one with Christian McCaffrey is important, because having him, like, you have your Fred Warner on the 49ers. Well, they have their own version of Fred Warner, and he's very good. If you could have Nick Bolton shut McCaffrey down to a 4 or 5 yard gain instead of breaking 10, 15, 12, because McCaffrey, the way he does it, he'll break through a hole and get 12. He'll break through a hole and get 8 or 9. If those 8 or 9 go down to 4 or 5, that's when the Niners get in these 3rd and mediums, 3rd and longs, and it kind of shuts their offense down.
I don't know the injury status on Willie Gay, but I think he would be just as important in that.
Both of them as a combo. And the 4th and final player that I think really is that important for the Chiefs is going to be Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice, we saw in the Dolphins game, was his coming out party in the playoffs. And he has what it takes to be I wouldn't say wide receiver 1. So yet, I think event down the line, maybe, but he has what it takes to be a number 1 option on this Chiefs offense outside of Travis Kelce in the receiving room, at least. Rashee Rice gets separation. He has this yak ability where he gets the ball and he makes things happen. And it's kind of crazy because the Chiefs 4 years ago were throwing the ball downfield and kind of going down after they got tackled. Now they're doing the opposite. They're catching the ball at the line of scrimmage or 3 yards at the line of scrimmage and then getting a lot of yards after catch. I think that really speaks to the evolution of Mahomes' game because they used to have to trust him to just, Tyreek Hill's down there. You got to let him and Kelce make plays. You can't trust. You can't say that anymore. I mean, he's really finding guys that are open in the flats and reading defenses and picking them apart. And I know we used to make fun of Brady. You have to remember back in time. There used to be compilations of people saying, "This is your GOAT." Brady's throwing checkdowns to Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola.
I can never get behind that argument. People are
Do you
so
remember
dumb,
those videos?
so dumb for that. Yeah,
I remember videos.
Dude, it's called dude, they used to get 5 yards a pop without
That's all
routes
you
to
need.
Edelman.
That's all you need.
Check downs to Woodhead, throws to Burkhead. Like
It was that
it's
one
just
guy.
so dumb. Check downs check downs are smart. Check downs are smart.
I mean, here's the thing: you take a check down because the defense is playing quarters or they're playing cover 2, and they're taking that those deep sideline shots away. And what are you going to do? The underneath is open. You take it. You get 4 or 5 yards. You get 6 yards. Reset. You're in second and medium now. You can operate. You can't operate on third and long. That's
it's
the
like
problem.
People thought Tom Brady couldn't read a field, so he opted for the check down. No, he opted to see another day. Same thing with Mahomes. But yeah, I like your points though. Yeah.
Rashee Rice is critical in this game. You got Rashee Rice, Nick Bolton, and the 2 cornerbacks on the Chiefs. If these 4 guys show up on Sunday, they'll be walking home with a 3rd Lombardi trophy in the last 6 years.
Yeah, because Mahomes is showing up. Yep, and solidifies the Chiefs dynasty. Now we're swinging on over to Chris. Chris, what are the X factors? Danny said for the Niners, it's going to be time management. It's going to be letting Brock cook, and it's going to be winning 3rd downs. What do you think the Chiefs got to do to beat Shanahan for the 2nd time in 5 years? Is it?
So be it.
One thing. They have to catch the ball consistently. That's it. That's been the issue with the Chiefs when they were having problems. It was receiver drops. It was Kadarius Toney lining up on the other side of the field. It was a lot of stuff. It was just a lot of stuff in that receiver room. Mahomes has shown, bro, I'm gonna put the ball there. I just got to figure it out and catch it. They just have to consistently catch the ball. I think the Chiefs win this game. And it's not even like the 49ers are a pushover. I know their defense is good, but it's that simple. Andy Reid, I feel like is going to get them open as he has. Like they're going to have plays where they're going to have people open. They have to consistently catch the ball. That's it. And I know that's really plain, sounds very casual, but that's really it. Because that was a thing that I saw that hurt the Chiefs the most this year. That was the inconsistency that hurt the Chiefs the most this year. And Kelce, being inconsistent at a point, a little hurt, whatever the case may be. But that was the inconsistency in the wide receiver room. So if they can catch the ball consistently, they should win.
I absolutely agree. And that was one thing that we were talking about leading up to the playoffs. I believe it was on one of the episodes where I think you had something going on, and it was you were on the cruise. I think me and Danny were talking about the Chiefs, and we're like the receivers could very well lose them a playoff game. And knock on wood, I'm not praying that it happens. It hasn't happened yet. Can we trust this wide receiver group to help not lose a 4th consecutive game? Time will tell, and that's why Rashee Rice is going to be huge, and that's why Travis Kelce and MVS they're going to be huge.
Dude, Travis Kelce had one of the best games I've ever seen him play, and it might have not showed up that crazy in the stat book, in the score sheet, but the diving catches against the Ravens, the 3rd down conversions across the middle where he's just cooking some of the best linebackers in the NFL and Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. He had a showing in Baltimore and deserves all the flowers he can get.
If there is any, and I mean any, Swifties that are watching the show, which I highly doubt, one thing that I can say about Travis is not just, Taylor's big dumb jock boyfriend. The fact that he can be on the same wavelength as Patrick Mahomes, because Lord knows what he is thinking ever on a football field, is mind-boggling. How can these two be on such a good page together, always working out of structure? It's his most underrated trait by far. Good route runner, knows where to sit in the zones, but his plays break down, and he's able to do his thing. It's really marvelous. His ability to adapt to a situation is it's outstanding, and that's how he adapted into Taylor's context. You feel me? And you know
You got that friendship bracelet. Come on.
he got that friendship bracelet, and he went to work. You know what I'm saying?
On that story though, on that love story, I think that these Super Bowl parties are not these Taylor Swift themed Super Bowl parties. They're so cringy.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. They're
them have their
very
fun.
well. No. Well, that's one, and two. They're well organized. They're cringe. They're a little childish, but they're very well organized, and that's one thing I like. I like the well organized Super Bowl party. Danny, I'm gonna show up to your crib at halftime. We're gonna have buffalo chicken dip on the ground somewhere, just like spill. Like it's just I already know it's gonna be a mess, but yeah,
will be
but
there no matter
real
what.
quick, because I do want to get to the dunk contest, but I want some hot takes for the Super Bowl. I'm going to start with mine. I think that Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes will combine for over 100 rushing yards in this game. Purdy rushed for 50 last week. Well, 48 after the kneels, but rushed for 50 last week. Mahomes, he's capable of getting 50. I think the linebacker player is going to be so phenomenal coverage-wise, and of course the secondaries as well. It's going to force them to break down. It's going to force them to make some plays with their feet. I think 100 yards from our two starting quarterbacks this game. That's my Super Bowl hot take. We'll go
Chris,
next.
you're up.
I would say we're kind of, I just brought this up. So if y'all need time to think, it's no worries.
My Super Bowl hot take is that it's kind of random, but you brought it up, so I think I'm just run with it. Isaiah Pacheco about to win Super Bowl MVP.
Ooh, okay.
He's the pick that you would think less of, but I think he's going to have a big game catching the ball. And you spoke to us a little bit, Tony, and when you were talking, Mahomes has been finding his guys in the flat a lot. And Pacheco's pretty reliable back there. I mean, if he's not running, he's been pretty reliable. So I think at the end of the day, he can have a game where he combines for 125 rushing yards, a touchdown. 125 rush receiving yards, a touchdown, something like that, and can sneak and mess around and get Super Bowl MVP. So that's my pick. I would go with Isaiah Pacheco's going to win Super Bowl MVP.
I think one of the most impressive things is, especially on the receiving side of that, like receivers winning Super Bowl MVP is so utterly impressive because you have to take up so much of your quarterback's yards like that. It's just hard. That's why I appreciate Julian Edelman's won it. Deion Branch won it. That's two receivers in the Brady era, by the way. We have been like on and off, like complimenting then shitting on Brady, but like receivers, when you're able to win a Super Bowl MVP, it's incredible. So Danny, you're the final hot take.
I kind of got two. So the first one is that Christian McCaffrey is the only player on the Niners to score a touchdown.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
I think he gets two.
Okay.
I think the Niners get 20 points total, 2 field goals, and 2 McCaffrey touchdowns.
I like that. They scored 20. They scored 20 last time as well. Same way.
Yeah, it's 31-20. And my second hot take is that Mahomes throws for 420 yards.
Oh, that's not. That wouldn't even be a Super Bowl record. That's the crazy
it wouldn't
part.
be. So there's a
Pretty
line
sure
on 506 if you want to bet it on DraftKings or FanDuel. You can bet this on the sports books that the Super Bowl passing record will be broken for 506 yards. It's insane odds. Insane odds.
It's just the Niners defense is too good.
I don't think their corners are that good. I think their corners are horrible, but the Chiefs don't have the receivers to be able to cook like that. Like you would need a 150 by Kelsey and all the receivers to put up 55 yards or more. And I just don't know if I see that happening.
Yeah.
But either way, I see Eric Bieniemy coming back to KC next year and running it back.
Okay. We can see it, man. Maybe.
Yeah.
I try to tell people, like, look, man, like, he's won 2 Super Bowls as a coordinator. Like, if he's not a head coach, probably tells you something maybe about, like, how, like, just GMs and guys just look at him, or how players
Yeah.
feel about him. But
Exactly.
okay, so those are the Super Bowl hot takes.
We have score predictions from all three of us.
Oh,
now.
we got to break it down. Let's go in reverse order if you want to start.
My score prediction, it's actually the same exact as the last Super Bowl, 31-20. I think the Chiefs. I said this last week. I think that the Chiefs' offense is just a little too high-powered for the 49ers. I think that Mahomes take care of the ball. He hasn't thrown an interception or taken a sack in a playoff game, I believe, in the last
I think he got sacked. I think he got sacked last game.
He might have got sacked last game, but
I think twice.
That was the first time he got sacked in a playoff game, and it didn't really mean much. We saw Mahomes just kind of take over in the first half. Second half, they adjusted. If you let Mahomes get a big lead on you, the Chiefs defense is not letting you come back, and to that extent, so I think Chiefs take care of business, get it done on Sunday, 31-20.
All right, I like that, Chris.
I've had a change of thought.
Oh,
I've had one. And it's because of what Danny just said. And I was just thinking about, I'm like, dang, it's crazy just said it. If the Ravens didn't wet the bed, they could have beat the Chiefs. They wet the bed in the second half, and they did not do anything on offense that they've done the whole year. So for that point alone, I am choosing the 49ers to win 34-31. And the reason I'm doing so is if the 49ers can be creative and limit the Chiefs, not saying they're going to stop them from scoring the whole half like the Ravens did. If they can limit the Chiefs into being a 10-point per half type of team, then I think they can win this game. And that's what I'm going to choose. I'm choosing 49ers winning Super Bowl 24-20.
Okay. So I like that way of thinking as well. Here's one thing, man. If there's one man who goes away from absolutely everything that works in the big game, it's Kyle Shanahan. That man, Kyle Shanahan, is going to throw everything away in the big game.
Especially in the second half. That
man was up 20 points, and he said, you know what? We're still throwing it deep. We're not running this clock out. We're throwing it up to Julio. We're not giving it to one of my 2 Pro Bowl backs. We're not doing it.
Devonta Freeman, one of the best running backs in the NFL at the time. Yeah,
scored the first touchdown of the game.
He was so good at the time. I don't want to hear anything. He was a top 10 running back in the NFL.
It was him and
Tariq Cohen. Something to Cohen. Not
What's
Cohen.
No.
His name started with a T.
We're casuals, man. We're cooked. We're officially washed. Okay. My score prediction, I'm going to have the Kansas City Chiefs winning 24-17. Relatively defensive Super Bowl. I think we got 2 good defenses on our teams. I think it kind of goes down like the Niners or the Chiefs Ravens game. I truly believe so. I think it's going to be a lot going on first half. Probably Chiefs jump out to like a 17-7 lead or so. And then Niners make some adjustments second half, but this could be a game where, Mahomes gets the ball last. And that's just how it goes, man. That's just how it goes.
All right, I'm going to let you know this. I'll give you one last shot. I got his initials right. It's TC.
Coleman.
Tevin Coleman, correct.
Tevin Coleman. Yes. Yeah, they were nice, man. They were a good little duo, man. They were nice.
Tevin Coleman, I believe, was on the Niners team when they played Mahomes in Super Bowl.
Maybe. Well, I know Mostert was there, but
yeah.
Okay, well, that's our Super Bowl picks and stuff, but we have to run back to NBA Weekly because they just dropped the NBA Slam Dunk competition contestants. Chris says this is the worst lineup he's ever seen, and I disagree. So we have Macca McClung from the Magic's G League affiliate. We have Jaime Jaquez Jr. from the Miami Heat. We got Jacob Toppin from the Knicks G League affiliate. And then we have Jaylen Brown, all-star, all-NBA member of the Boston Celtics. Now, what Chris is saying, or at least what Chris's friend's saying, need stars to come back to it. Chris says bad. I'm pretty sure we have an all-NBA member sitting right there.
Merchant?
Right there.
I see that merchant right there. I see him.
He's an all-star. He's an all-star,
Is
man.
he a right-hand dribbler?
Slap him on a lottery team. He's scoring 30.
And show us Scotty Barnes an all-star too. Show love.
He should be an all-star. I'm on your side.
A right-hand dribble basketball merchant.
But yeah,
Dog, he can dribble with his left hand. He
just
has
not
his
in
ligament messed up in his elbow.
All right, so look, I'll be aside.
So did Joe
Why I say it's
Burrow.
the worst. Always why I say it's the worst lineup is like, bro, All-Star Weekend is kind of for casuals to an extent, and that's why I say it's bad. I think, and you know me, I watch college basketball, I watch high school basketball. I know Jacob Toppin has crazy rides. I mean, look at his brother. I know that. I've seen Mac McClung be great. I've seen it. Jaylen Brown has very, very disrespected rise. People forget when he was at Cal, he was ridiculous. So I get that. Jaime won dunk contest in high school and with some of the best dunkers in the NBA today. I'm cool with that. But a casual turn this on and be like, who are these people? Like, they may know Jaylen Brown, but that's about it. And I think that's unfortunate for the NBA because you have an event with Curry and Sabrina. With Curry and Sabrina that's going to bring two crowds together we talked about last week. And then you have this, where it's like, who are these people to an extent? Like, some people will remember Mac McClung from, and I'm talking about casuals. Of course we know. But I just think it could have been, I wish the Stars would be back for that fact to where it's like, it used to be Vince Carter, Jason Richardson, T-Mac. Like, we had people who were 25 plus per game scorers in the dunk contest and in the All-Star game. Like, it meant something. It used to mean something to me, man. But no.
All right, so let's hold up. So let me some of the best dunk contest performances we've seen in recent history was Zach LaVine before he got a consistent J, Aaron Gordon before he discovered Nikola Jokic. That was battle of the century. Derek Jones.
But he was still the number one player on the Magic at the time. Aaron Gordon was still their best player.
That team is ass.
But he was still the best player, though. He was. So it was a star, technically.
Hey, oh, no. We're not doing that. Best player equals star now?
No, I'm saying at that point, Aaron Gordon was a rising star. He was. I'm not saying I would have picked him as
Jaime's a rising star.
For 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. After that, let's see.
Come on. Give my Mexican brother some love, man. He on the way up. So here's what I'll say. I don't know much about Jacob Toppin. His brother is Obi. I know you can jump out the gym. That works for me. Mac McClung won it last year. Only right, bring him back, defend his title. Mac McClung, again, probably one of the best performances we've seen in the last many years. Jaime Jaquez, he's won a dunk contest before. I'm interested to see if he'll maybe jump over the border for his opening dunk. And then you have Jaylen Brown, unreal bounce. I don't know how creative he can get. I'm not. The last time I seen him do something crazy in game, I think was like Rising Stars Challenge, did like in East Bay in game. Yeah. But I think this is a good lineup, at least from because for us casuals, probably not.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think
this is 4 guys with bounce.
Yeah, basketball fans will enjoy this because I think it's gonna be some good dunks in this. I'm not hating on the contest. I think it's gonna be a good contest. I just think that just for coming early 2000s, mid 2000s, like you had some stars in there at points. So it's like it just sucks to see it every year just get less star power. But I think it's gonna be a good contest though because I think it's gonna be cool.
It could be, yeah, man, yeah. But that's basically everything that we got today, man. To wrap everything up, Chiefs in 7. Jaylen Brown winning dunk contest over the Mexican, the white boy, and Nepo baby. Feel me. Embiid's knee is cooked. Sixers are cooked. Darvin Ham should be cooked, but he's not in the oven yet.
Talking about being cooked, I just saw a Steelers fan have an idea that JJ McCarthy is going to be a Steeler at 20, and I want to.
Yeah, bro, I would openly let you come be an Eagles fan if that happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would feel so unbelievably bad for you.
It's like drafting a Kenny Pickett clone.
Yeah, having 2 Kenny Pickett variants on the same squad is certainly something. But yeah, y'all got anything to say before we get on out of here after this nice episode? All right, thank you guys for tuning in. From AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.